Alright, so I gotta go and get you guys brought up to speed. We have Blucifer here, and if you watched earlier this week, the first rip / race in the car with the new Vengeance twin disc clutch was a huge success. It was only until we got back to the Miranda's house, I parked the car sat for about an hour. After that hour, I went ahead and started the car and instantly heard this. Now, I have no idea what that noise is because I'm going to go and explain to you exactly what happened. So I started hearing that. It was doing it while the car was just idling, and it was doing it while the car was driving. So I started driving home. 1, the clutch felt amazing still. 2, the car felt amazing still. And 3, the transmission felt amazing still. There was no hang-ups. There were no jerks in the trans with the shifter. None of the above. So that definitely kind of confused me. And what I noticed is whenever I hit a bump on the way home, that rattling sound sounded like it got shaken up even more, and it rattled louder and then it went back down. Pretty much each bump I hit, the rattling got louder, and about halfway home from the Miranda's house, it completely went away. The sound went away. I pulled it into the other garage and it kind of came back again. So I let the car sit. I jacked it up. I looked in the engine bay to see if, maybe a tool had fallen down on a piece of metal and it's clanking around in there, or rocks, I don't know. After I got it jacked up, we started looking around in the engine bay, like I said, underneath the car, making sure everything's tight, yada yada, and we didn't find anything significant that would have been making that noise. So I personally don't know, because I actually took the car out again that night, ripped on it a little bit, and not a single time did it make that noise. The car felt great. Every number on my gauge, on my tuner gauges, were perfect. Nothing was going wrong, and it just stumbled. Little nervous, definitely anxious, because that sound did not sound good, as you guys heard. It was not normal. But the reason why I'm picking up this video is because the car sat overnight after driving and ripping on it a little more, and we're gonna go ahead and start it up and see if rattling comes back. So this rattling can really be heard when you're inside the car with the door shut, and it sounded like it was coming, from the clutch area, but at the same time, it's not really making any sense as to it being a clutch problem, considering the car is still driving great, feels great, clutch feels all there. And again, all the gears on the transmission are working flawlessly. So we're just gonna start it, hope for the best. I pray to God I don't hear it again. And before I do this, if any of you have ever ran into this issue after a twin disc installation, and just to remind you, yes, I did have 500 break-in miles, and my 500 break-in miles were actual break-in miles, clutch in, clutch out, shifting gears, no highway miles at all with those miles. So the clutch was 100% broken in. This thing was moving out, and after those 2 rips, nothing came to mind and nothing startled me being like, oh wow, this car's messed up. Nothing, no rattling, no nothing. I drove the car home normal, and that's kind of why I'm definitely a little anxious and stumped right now. But let's go ahead and get the car started. It's in neutral. I'm gonna go ahead and verify that everything's smooth. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and reverse. So that's nice and smooth. and we'll go ahead and run through them again once the car is starting. The clutch has pressure. This is when I heard it, right about here. Play the clip again. So I mean, so far so good. I don't hear that crazy rattling, rumbling noise. Clutch in a few times. No rattling sound. Go through the gears again. Perfect. I don't know, man. I'm so stumped. I'm so stumped. And it just sucks because I hate not having answers. Like right now, I don't know if like a bolt came loose somehow and maybe found its way out of the car and that's why it's not rattling, but at the same time, the car is missing an important bolt. I don't know if it was just a rock that got flung up in somewhere and it just started rattling. I mean, anything at this point is possible. All I could say, after those clips where we went out and I smacked this car and it felt wonderful, like even third to fourth, redlining it, like it was perfect. That twin disc felt amazing. I had no worries after even doing it because the car just felt like it was supposed to feel. So I don't know if I picked something up along the way on the way home and I parked the car and it was just lodged in somewhere, or you know, something was rattling on top of like maybe the K member or something. I don't know. If you guys have any idea. And no, that was not just normal clutch chatter. This clutch does chatter under low RPMs in certain gears. That's normal. But trust me, that rattling, I could hear the clutch chatter in the background, and then that rattling was overpowering it. So I knew for a fact it wasn't the clutch chatter. No sir, so don't even comment that. But if any of you have ever experienced anything similar to this, let me know. As of right now, it seems that it's gone, hopefully. And we're gonna put the car to the test again today. I mean, if something breaks, it breaks. It's not like I could just go and drop the trans super easily and just double check everything. Unfortunately, that's not an option. And when the car feels great, that shouldn't really be an option because I might be overthinking this. But I don't know. The best we can do is just go back on the highway, give it a little more sauce, and let the car sit again and start it up and just see if we can replicate that. Because this way, if it does happen again after really beating on the car, we know something isn't right, and then we can take further action into ripping this all apart again and double checking our work. But it can't be the clutch install. Like, it can't be. As far as the clutch install with Alex, he did a wonderful job on it. We used the proper thread lock on all the bolts. We used the proper torque specs. I was there holding the crank bolt with, you know, all the pressure I possibly could while he was torquing down. You know, same one goes with the flywheel bolts. Those, I think, got red Loctite. The clutch plate bolts or whatever got blue. I might have that flipped. I don't know. I'm just going off the top of my head here. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm just hoping maybe something just got rattled up and started shaking around. My luck after the first pull ever. But anyway, no rattling from the outside. So we're currently in first gear, and I'll just go ahead and show you that everything seems to be fine. No clutch rattle, no nothing. Starting off, clutch grip was great. Get into it a little bit right here. Cycle through the gears. So that was first through sixth. Didn't have much juice for sixth gear though. It would have started chattering its ass off. But as you saw, all the gears work. What up, Sleepy?
No, that's what I had.
You doing all right?
Yeah.
You sure? You sure?
Yeah.
You awake?
No.
Yo, go lay down, dude. How bad was that rattle?
It was 10 out of 10. I was scared. I thought it was broke. Like straight up, I was like, oh dude, that sucks.
Makes no sense now, right?
There's no noise, no nothing. We ripped on it last night, looked under the car, found 2 little pebbles. No signs of anything wearing or going bad. No leaks, no nothing. Clutch feels fine now, but gotta rip on it today and see what happens.
Yep, that's what we're gonna do. Take old Blucifer out again, give her a nice little 3rd gear rip. And it was super sketchy yesterday when we filmed those videos that I just mentioned with Teddy's car and we all went out. That tire is not doing it anymore. So coffee first, rip on it second. See how this goes. Were you in paddle shift mode?
So the first time I went out, I was in manual mode, and I turned it right as I got on it in the Sport Plus, but it's still like it wouldn't let me shift out of 4th. That's why he took off in front of me. And then the next time, it still
Mercedes?
kicked it. Yeah, he got my ass. He got my ass.
It was no, your car's fast.
Yeah, it was moving.
That.
It was moving.
It kicked down another gear. Like it wasn't like when I floored it, it kicked it down another gear that one I was already at. So then I went, but I mean, he still pulled on me. I mean,
nice.
it was close. So maybe
it's
if
time
I get
for the mods now.
Yeah, now I gotta put
now that's like close.
stuff on.
All right, I'm
I
ordering
can't sell it. I gotta be
everything
faster.
So, we got a little game plan. We're gonna try to go back out. I just wanna be able to open it all the way up just one more time, shift it into 4th and just see how it reacts. So, I'm trying to get it done. See what we can do. Overall, that felt amazing. As you guys just saw, revved it out to about 7,000, I'd say. I didn't want to push it. And 4th gear, slap 4th gear, no problem, super smooth. Ultimately, I just think these twin disc love when they're abused. It doesn't drive that good for daily driving. It doesn't feel the best, but when you're in it, it feels really good. So I'm pretty much happy with that. Now we're gonna try to replicate what happened earlier. I'm gonna let the car sit for a little bit. Again, there's nothing right now that's going on that has me worried. The car feels great. It's all the gears are working properly. Everything feels great. So we're gonna let the car sit, get back to the Mirandas, and see what we can find out. How'd she look?
She looked good.
Screaming?
It was loud. I was like, good Lord, my ears are ringing.
So it's been about 45 minutes since it started, so we're gonna start her up.